guys, Yegi here. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for tuning in. Today we're going to talk about isolation tools. I'm going to use two different isolation tools on two different models so you can see, and I will also review them so you can see how they work and how I feel about them. I know you guys have been waiting for this video for a bit, so I hope you enjoy it and give me your feedback. Bye. No, not bye. Continue watching. But a quick summary of how I feel about them is I learned that it is best to be used with clients who have layered eyelashes. And keep watching so you can see what I mean by layered eyelashes. This first model is a model that one of my students was working on during class. She was having a really hard time isolating with tweezers, and therefore we decided to test out this isolation tool to see if it'll make her life easier. And the reason why we chose to do that is because we noticed that this client does have layering of the eyelash extensions, just like the image you saw previously. We decided to tape up the eyelashes she had placed with the tweezers, the isolation tweezers and regular tweezers, and that's what we're doing now. We're trying to place the isolation tool to help her apply the eyelash extensions more easily in the parts that look very, very layered. This is the gold isolation tool, so on her we're going to test this one out, and then on our second model we're going to test out the regular isolation tool, which is the blue isolation tool. With her, we also noticed that most of the layering was in the center of her eyelashes, so that's the area we're using the gold isolation tool to be able to apply it on every single layer of her natural eyelashes easily. We noticed the inner and outer corners didn't have much layering, so it was a lot harder to use the isolation tools in the inner and outer corners. We are now weaving out some of her natural eyelashes to go on top of the isolation tool so she can go ahead and apply the extensions on top of the natural eyelashes without having trouble isolating with curved tweezers or the bottom layer of the eyelashes getting in the way. And if you notice, we also put that little counterweight on her eyelid. That also helps the eye stay closed, because some clients might, as they fall asleep, kind of lift their eyes open, and that can get in the way of us using the isolation tool. So you can use that as a counterweight or also a weight to keep the eye closed. Now we're making sure that every natural eyelash that's on the isolation tool is separated and they're not touching each other too much. So when we go ahead and apply the extension on top, they're not going to stick together. Now here's our second model. We're going to use the regular isolation tool, the blue one in this example, and to see how it works. Honestly, I noticed that only working with little section at a time was a lot easier. Just like you see, I'm working only on that little corner at the moment. And I'm using the Mega Hold glue, which dries really quickly in a second. So it makes it easier to use the isolation tool. And once you have them weaved out and on the isolation tool, literally all you're doing is only using one tweezer and going quickly, just like you see, on top of the natural eyelash and sticking the extension. So there you go. So this is how you would use the isolation tool. I couldn't use it in any other better way. I found that it may be really great tool if somebody has very layered eyelashes and they're very far apart in the layers. It'll make your life a lot easier, but I couldn't find a good model to demonstrate that on, and I wanted to share this with you guys in the meantime. But here's how I'm using it for an average client with average layer eyelash. After using the isolation tool for all the areas that were really layered, mainly the top layer of the eyelash extensions for this second model, I decided to switch over to the regular tweezer method, mainly because I found that to be a little bit easier for me, honestly. It might be because I wasn't really used to using the isolation tool, or in my honest opinion, I think the isolation tool is best used for only clients who have really obvious layering of their natural eyelashes. Just like you see in this picture. The layers, what I mean, are the vertical layers that a client can have, just like this. And in case you were wondering, these are our Mega Volume eyelashes, the Yegi Mega Volume 2.0 eyelashes that I'm using on her to create these handmade fans. They're super easy to fan out, so you could see how quickly I'm doing it on the strip in that little right upper corner of the video. And also I'm using the 1 second quick dry Mega Hold Glue, and again, that's the Yegi Mega Hold Glue, but we'll link all the products below in case you're wondering. And we do have other videos that are especially show just how to do eyelash extensions, so go check those out if you're curious about that. But I won't talk too much about application on this video. I mainly wanted to review the isolation tools versus just the traditional way of isolating with tweezers. I'm also adding some of our pre-made fans, which is the second type of eyelash that you see on that lash tool holder magnet thingy. Wow, I couldn't talk. But yeah, that's we also sell those. Those are the magnetic lash holders. I really do like it because it moves from left to right. That magnet on top that you see that says eyelash tools, and it makes it a lot easier to work with the client compared to the old way I used to do it with the tissue. It would get kind of messy to tape it and untape it and try to move it. Oh, and a quick reminder, we do teach classes all over the United States right now, or even have online full trainings and certifications. So check out our website for more information at yegibeauty.com. With making small wide fans with the Mega Volumes or even the pre-made fans, we're going to create a very nice light fluffy volume look. Even though these are the Mega Volume line of eyelashes, we're not using them to create really thick dark look. We're actually doing a light fluffy volume look, or yeah, a hybrid between handmade and pre-made fans. Now that it looks nice and full, we're going to dry it, we're going to brush, we're going to make sure nothing is stuck underneath before we untaper. We're also going to use our little mirror to check and see how it's going to look once she opens. If it's going to look full enough or it's going to look even enough. And I notice one area doesn't look too full, so I'm going to go back and add a couple more fans. One final check and we are done. We can untaper. Make sure to tape everything very, very gently and slowly. Double check that nothing is stuck before you're removing the under eye patches, because that's when you can really pull the natural eyelashes, and we don't want to do that. And there we go. Get the before and after between each eye. Oh, gotta love eyelash extensions.